Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we'll have a 1 versus 1 on Shrine of Exelon. Over in the Ynnari corner we've got Chaos Envoyer. Whereas over in the Death Guard corner we have Omneity the Great 2. Omneity is going to go for triple Nurgle cultists as well as a Temple of Disease. Whereas the Ynnari player is going to go for some Storm Guardians, going to be recruiting Yvrane and also going for a infantry portal. So a conglomerate of space elves in this new faction for Dawn of War Unification. I do believe it is the third and final new faction for this patch, although maybe there's a cheeky fourth one that I haven't realised, but I'm fairly confident this is the third and final one. They are going to go for some Harlequin add-ons in this infantry portal. One special thing about these space elves is that they have access to Eldar infantry, Dark Eldar infantry, Harlequin bits and bobs, and you get to decide which one you go for in the infantry portal by having your general add-ons. You can have access, you can get all three add-ons. There's no restriction to it. So they've gone for the Harlequins. Mimes are coming out. Very generally good at close combat and ranged. Are able to get access to a Harlequin's Kiss once this Storm Armory comes online. What is the Chaos player going to go for? Some Plague Marines. Going to go for 2. Capturing the nearest and dearest. Nothing too crazy going on from their side over here. Cultists pushing out on the right flank. You will notice that there's these red little relic locations over here. If the Ynnari manage to capture all 5 of these, I do believe there are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, there are 5 in total. Sometimes these randomly spawn in places where the Ynnari can't have access to them. But if they manage to capture all 5, they do have access to some special units as well as a very good buff for them all. Plague Marine's going to be running away from Yvrane, who, let's have a quick look at her model while we're here. It's a very good model, I do quite like it. A really cool eye tattoo. Got some very nice chrome and green breastplates, as well as arm greaves, is that what they're called? Armbands. Beautiful pink gun, all that. Plague Marines, though, not all that terrified of it. They do have 1,250 health, compared to Yvrane's 1,300. The 2 Plague Marines have as much health as a big old hero and whatnot. Yvrane does have access to a little bit of psychic abilities, as you can see by there. Just a general, she does damage to a whole squad and whatnot, and, well, that Poxwalker slave did not have a good time with that at all. That listing post over there won't be built up for a little while. Mimes over here will catch these cultists. These cultists will try and capture this relic, but once these ladies get their Harlequin's Kiss, we'll be able to very easily cut through anything and everything. It is effective against all sorts of infantry. Soul Armory on the way. Also, the Ynnari have access to some special upgrades and whatnot from souls that they collect. The way that the Ynnari collect souls is by when their models die in combat. For each model that dies, they gain like an extra soul. So that's the thing. So when your units die, it's not all that bad for the Ynnari. We have got a gift repository going for the Death Guard. 74 and 10 compared to 68 and 0. So no plasma generators for the Death Guard as of yet. They are focusing primarily on getting as much blue money as possible, capturing as many of these not critical locations, strategic locations as possible. Mimes now with double Harlequin's Kiss aren't going to make the quickest work of this listing post, but cultists don't want to get too close to them all the same. They have a sizable amount of Plague Marines now. 2 squads of 4 each. 2 squads of Nurgle cultists. Yvrane not looking all that healthy at the moment. We also do have a Plague Lord somewhere on the battlefield. Plague Lord over here. Causing mischief and mayhem on the northwest side of the map. Will be pushed back by this Harlequin troop as well as the Storm Guardians, who do have access to double Flamers. I do apologise. Nurgle Cult is trying to capture a critical location in the middle. Mimes won't be too happy about that. We'll try and push them off. But it's not wanting to contest that for any length of time. Large number of Death Guard moving over on this side. We have another warp generator going down for the Ynnaris. No signs of going for any Eldar or Dark Eldar add-ons at the moment. Once they get that Soul Armory up and running. They have access to the second tier of infantry, as you can see now that they've got Harlequins on the field. Do believe that for Dark Eldar units, you start off with your general warrior troops, and then tier, well, shall we say 1.5, tier 1.5, they go for Hellions. And then for Eldar, you start off with your usual Dire Avengers. And actually, for the life of me, I can't remember. I think it's the jump pack ones, whatever you call them. Striking Scorpions? There's too many units to remember the name of for the Ynnari. Death Guard taking down this listening post over here. Although while that's going on, the Plague Lord is being battered and bruised by Yvraine and the Eldar. Got some blight grenades going on, some remorseless warriors being researched as well, making them even more tanky. Plague Lord going to pop some general badness, but will be slurred by Yvraine's mental mind games. Might be able to get out. In fact, he does manage to get out just in the nick of time, joining these Plague Marines. The little gassy explosion that you saw from the Plague Lord, I do believe does general damage to anyone nearby, but also increases the health regen of any squad that's within contact of it. As you can see by him regaining his health fairly quickly there. And it does look like the Ynnari are being pushed out. We do have a sizable amount of Harlequins moving down on the eastern flank. No, not at the moment going for these red critical locations, or these Crone Sword Shard locations. They do take a fair while to capture, to be honest. I think it's the same catch time as a Relic. And this Ynnari place seems content on keeping up the pressure during this match. Does look like this listening post will maybe go down. They put all the effort in, they may as well go for it before falling back. While they've got their attention over there, some more Harlequins entering combat over here. These Harlequins are a little bit different from the Harlequin troops in the Harlequin faction. I'll just put a swear jar for every time I say the word Harlequin. In their natural faction, shall we say, they don't have access to the jumping research straight from the get-go, whereas these guys come out all primed and ready with jumping nonsense. Plague Marines being sliced up. As chunky as these guys are, these ladies do a lot in the way of DPS, especially in close combat. But when the Plague Marines do die, they do let out a big old poisonous gas. And to be honest, in close combat, it's not where you want to be with Plague Marines at the best of times. Plague Lord over here firing away at a distance. Yvraine doing some Eldar boomy bits over there. Though very disgustingly resilient, will increase the maximum health of all Space Marines. And also, I do believe, yeah, improve the damage as well, so big upgrade for him. Tier 2 going for the Death Guard player. And it's just constant, absolute chaos in this side of the map. Plague Marines that are able to reinforce a little bit quicker, I would say, than the Harlequins are able to kill them. They do have an impressive amount of DPS, but not quite enough to be able to wipe out the Marines, although the cultists themselves do look like that they're going the way of the dinosaur. More Plague Marines out on the field. They've now got 30 energy from some source, where that sources are all the skirmish generators down south. What's going on in the Dark Eldar base at the moment? Not Dark Eldar, the regular Eldar. Going to go for Ynnari Awakened, so that will be tier 2 for those guys and gals up north. Plague Marines slowly but surely being whistled down. Storm Guardians using their flamers to full effect. Mimes also still online with their double Harlequins. God, I don't know where that came from, I do apologise. Yep, still with their Harlequin's kiss. Able to explode infantry when they're fairly low on health. Gift repository now on the dark side of the Harlequin sword. And it doesn't look like that the Death Guard player is able to form some sort of decent defense at the moment, unfortunately. There's no upgrades for their weapons at the moment. Well, to be honest, what would they really go for? Maybe like a Plague Belcher? Not impossible to push the Ynnari back at this point, but this is quite a sustained assault. Pox Walker Slaves still about. They haven't been focused down or anything. Plague Lord. Is the Plague Lord still alive? He is still there, in the middle of it all. We have a couple of models going down over here. Plague Marines, very, very low on health at the moment. Don't really have the money to constantly reinforce these guys. It is 50 blue money apiece. It's not the cheapest thing ever. Your vein does go down, however, though, being, how do we say it politely, been surrounded by these Plague Marines. A game of Soggy Yvrain, where Yvrain was the biscuit. Plague Lord managing to break free of these Harlequins. Mimes over here, only 2 guys left in there. It's a constant slog in this battlefield. Another squad of Plague Marines coming out to play. Got some big acid going on over here. Possible Blight Grenade, possible Plague Lord mischief. I'm entirely sure which one it is, but it was certainly not something that the Harlequins wanted to stand in for any length of time. More Plague Marines have been popped. And what's going on over here? Harlequins not able to get any more troops out as they have got their squad cap full. Not replacing Yvrain at the moment though. Serious green money float at the moment, but what can you do? You can't really invest anything else at the moment. There's some Mind War-esque bits and bobs going on here from these mimes. Poxwalker's finally been taken down by these Harlequins. Plague Marines just being constantly chased around. But I'm very impressed that they are able to just tank all this damage. Just constantly on the move. Some more Plague Marines coming out from this side. Players are in tier 1. Oh, sorry, tier 2, sorry, but neither of them have access to tier 2 at the moment just because of the amount of money that they're spending on reinforcing all their units. Harlequin player does have, not Harlequin, Ynnari player does have a little bit extra blue money there, signifying that they are getting the best of this combat. Might be a case where the, how do we say, the Death Guard player goes for some upgrades on these listening posts, just for some constant DPS as they're playing on the defensive. Are pulling away from the base, keeping the Ynnari away from their buildings. More explosions of the green variety. Death Lord back in the fray. Plague Marines over here, almost getting a squad wipe, not quite there. It does look like finally that the Ynnari player is pulling back. They do have a good number of blue and green money to play with, so maybe now is the time to tech into something that can deal the killing blow to the Death Guard. Going for a Webway support portal. And, whoa, we could finally breathe, boys and girls. That was a solid 10 minutes of pure unbridled combat. So what can the Death Guard do to hopefully stem the tide of these ladies? We'll go for another Poxwalker. Like I said, I think maybe upgrades to these listening posts are the key to this. Mimes are going for some fusion cannons which will help them bust up these listening posts. They do have access to there's like a plague tree of some description. For life, I can't remember what it's called, but it's kind of like a turret. It lasts for a limited time. When it kills a unit, it does spawn where they die, I do believe. It's quite a useful, unique turret to the Death Guard. Not going for any upgrades on the weapons at the moment, as far as I can tell. Just going for pure, massive bodies. Squad capacity increase. Going to see some Venoms for the Ynnari. And some Death Jesters as well. So not seeing this combination of Eldar at the moment, just a pure focus on the Harlequins. Venom out on the field. In fact, let's have a quick look at that unit, because it is quite a tasty looking unit. It's like gear pride in a vehicle. Very much appreciate it. Will do decent damage to infantry. Also acts as a transport. Will allow the Harlequins to get in there and everywhere. Doesn't seem like the jumping animation is working on the Harlequin troop. Not sure if there's a reason for that. Either way, this assault is going to once again recommence. Plague Marines being pushed back. Gone for a upgrade on this listing post. Will be repaired by this Poxwalker slave over here. Nothing else being built up by the Plague Marines at the moment. But mind you, they haven't had really all that much blue money to play with. 80 and 30 for Plague Marines. Go to 126 and 40 for the Ynnari. The Plague Marines have been on the back foot for most of this game. Although they do seem to be weathering this a little bit better. The Harlequins over here losing their morale. One squad wipe by the looks of things. A second squad wipe on top of that. Mimes using their fusion guns on the Plague Marines. They might want to turn their attention to this listening post. Double Venoms on the go. In fact, triple Venoms on the go. We'll be able to soak up some of this damage from the Plague Marines, but they will move away with their very shiny flames from the back. And yeah, that was actually, it worked. Now going to go for some melter guns to help them focus on the Venoms. Got another squad going for some plasma guns. Yeah, that's surprising. I didn't expect that to work so well, but then again, a solid wall of twisted plague meat will do the job all the same. Death Jesters over here, very good against infantry. Will absolutely mulch two Plague Marines. We do have some more cultists over here. Ynnari capturing their relic here. We do have some Hekatari witch squads on the go. Transitioning into some more Dark Eldar plays. Good against commanders and infantry. And I would say when they pop their combat drugs, they are very, very lethal in all things. It's just getting into close combat. They have popped their drugs, they're going to make their way in. Death Guard over here being absolutely wiped out. Death Jesters do not make love in combat, they fuck. And just look at that, absolutely wiping out a couple of models over there before retreating back into the protective zone of the Venoms. Death Jesters are a bit of a glass cannon though. They only have access to a maximum of 3 Death Jesters. So they've got to be very careful with their positioning. You don't want to see them get caught out in the grand scheme of things. Storm Guardians with their Warlock. Warlock does fire lightning from a distance. Hekatari Witches not quite wanting to get in close combat just yet. They're probably waiting for some more drugs to be delivered to them. Go have a Plague Havoc squad now. So these Venoms will have to be very, very careful. It's triple missile launchers. Quadruple, so every unit, also every model in Plague Havoc's just come free with a missile launcher, which is absolutely lethal towards anything and everything vehicular. Death Jesters, though. Now, the problem that the Death Guard have now is that they want to get nice and close and personal to tie up these Death Jesters, but they aren't the quickest of lads, so it will take them a while to get into close combat, and when these Venoms jump in, getting in the way of them, blocking off their forward-moving path, so they'll just be pushed back. So, wonderful use of Venoms and Death Jesters, which is giving their models as well as nearby Jesters some drugs, increasing their DPS, will finally take down this tier 2 listening post. And the Plague Marines have just been focusing on infantry so far. Not much else that they can really do or go for at this stage. will try and, will almost, in fact, they will indeed take down that Venom. And now that they've got full-blown access to go straight into combat, though they're standing still, they're still going to try and focus on these witches. Will explode and cause, I mean, dear oh dear, that is a party that you don't want to be invited to. Those witches are in for a green and mean time, staying close combat for these guys. But Death Jester's having the best time of their lives, just firing away into these Death Guard, and it does look like several squad wipes. War Walker coming in. Does look like the bulk of the Death Guard infantry is going to be wiped out. And that does look like it for the Ynnari. Yep, the Death Guard player does surrender there, and the Ynnari take it home. So it was a gradual slog. I mean, it's not every day that you cast a game where literally 90% of it is constant combat, but we did see a very good display of how resilient that the Death Guard can be with the right unit composition, as we saw by the Ynnari player from the Death Guard, not the Death Guard, the Dark Eldar in the Witches, and the Harlequins from the Harlequins. Yeah, you're able to do it. Anyway, cool, nice one. Anyway, my name's been Mr. Landshark. Please always never chop, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.